is Fox 5 News at 5.
We now want to bring in Mark Serrano. He is a crisis communications expert, a sex abuse survivor himself, and an advocate for others who have been abused. Mark, thank you so much for being with us tonight.
You're welcome, Laura. Thank you.
I know you were the first abuse survivor at the beginning of the Catholic Church child sex abuse scandal to publicly break a gag order through the national media. What are those victim witnesses, the person today and the guy yesterday, what are they going through right now in testifying in this case? It's got to be so difficult.
In large measure, they're going through trauma because they're reliving and recounting their experiences. They were trapped. They were fooled and trapped and lured by a serial sexual predator who used his prestige to strip their instincts from them. And so to have to recount it when they've kept it secret for so many years is very traumatic for them. But hopefully they'll gain some relief eventually from finally speaking the truth.
And how hard is it to face Jerry Sandusky for them?
Well, you know, the table of power hopefully has turned for them. And hopefully they can realize that now they're in control, no longer is he in control. And what we learned, I think, from the testimony thus far yesterday and today is that he obviously uses classic grooming techniques and his prestige on campus to lure and rape his victims. We also learned, I believe, through the testimony that Jerry Sandusky had a co-conspirator, and it was university officials who looked the other way in 1998 and 2001 when they received reports directly from victims. The other thing I believe we're seeing, too, is that from a public relations standpoint, the university has still failed to acknowledge the truth of what they knew and when they knew it, and they will not get through this crisis until they deal with things more transparently, and they also create an environment through which other victims, and I believe there are more, can come forward and report the truth as well.
Well, Mark, you make a good point. I wanted to bring that up because that came up in court today. We heard that school district guidance counselor talking about how he rejected or brought up that it was rejected that the victim's claims were said to be not true. You, I know, have repeatedly called out Penn State for failing those students. What kind of an impact will this case have on other universities, let alone Penn State?
Well, it will send a cold chill through a lot of universities some of whom may be in the same position where they've received qualified reports of perhaps rape of an adult or abuse of a child, and they need to have some serious introspection and some transparency involved here. There are measures in place so that people who have to report such crimes can turn to the officials. What you need to do, and what Mike McQueary should have done in 2001, was call the cops, call 911. That's the first step that anyone should take, and universities should establish those rules, but also establish rules of transparency when they're in the middle of a crisis and they have a public relations disaster like Penn State has right now.
Well, you've certainly been a pioneer in this effort, and I appreciate you coming on with us tonight. Mark Serrano, thanks for being with us.
Thank you, Laura.